All right, hello everyone. It is that time of the year. It has already started, and we're hopping on the train right now. And we're going to be doing the 2025-2026 NBA standings predictions. So let's just get straight into it. Okay, so first we're going to start off with the Eastern Conference, the weaker of the two. My number one seed is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. I feel like most people say it's probably a race between them and the Knicks as the only, you know, good teams, like top teams in the East. I mean, they're probably going to be right on track where they were last year. There's not really much to say about them. Evan Mobley getting better. As long as they're not hurt in the playoffs and as long as they can take away something and learn from it, then I mean, they're obviously not going to fall off. The conference is weaker and they're pretty much where they were last year, maybe a little worse, maybe a little better. We don't know. My number two seed is going to be the New York Knicks. And I would be excited for if I was a Knicks fan. Um, their starting lineup, they might try the Mitchell Robinson thing because they didn't try that until the playoffs and it went well. But then they also went out and got bench guys. So they still have Deuce McBride, Jordan Clarkson. They got Yabusele, and they also signed Malcolm Brogdon for what it's worth. So now you have guys who can come off the bench, and there's a new coach. So the starters probably wouldn't need to like run themselves into the ground and play a whole bunch, like they did under Tibbs. Listen, before I say this, it it won't be a predictions video without doing a little something or doing a little extra. And I mean, you can't really pick, best team, second best team, third best team, because it's obviously going to be wrong. There are surprises, there are disappointments. So with that being said, my third seed team in the East is the Bucks. Now their roster really isn't on anything. It's worse from last year. And last year they weren't even a three seed. But like everyone knows, the East is weaker and there's no really proven team to be here. You could argue teams, but there isn't a proven team that can be here. And if we look at their depth chart, I mean, again, like I said, it's not on anything. The starting lineup is not great at all, but they do have Giannis, who is primed to have a potential career year, which is wild because he's been top three and sometimes winner of MVP in the last like 6 years, maybe seven. So he can really, extend that to eight years. And yeah, again, if they really want to think about contending, the trades need to be done, but this is not playoffs, just a three seed. I think the Bucks surprise people and take it. With my number four seed in the East, I have the Atlanta Hawks. They have a lot of pressure on them now because of what they did for good reason. They got Porzingis. Who knows how much he's gonna play? They got Nickel Alexander-Walker. They got Luke Kennard for some shooting, and Dyson Daniels another year with the team. Jalen Johnson. Last year he was really good before he got hurt. He was on my fantasy team. And I mean, he's just back to, trying to prove what he did last year, that it's true and that he can be better. So I think if pieces, fall in the right way for the Hawks, they're primed to have a really successful season. Number five, I have most people's number three, and that's the Magic. And the defense is going to be there. And they obviously went out and got Desmond Bane for shooting. But like I don't know. There's a lot of questions with the team. Like, is the Desmond Bane fit as good as people say? Are they still going to be like super injured? Because Paolo and Franz both had like a torn oblique or something, like back to back. Jalen Suggs went out and missed the whole rest of the season. And yeah, I mean, you really just don't know. Injuries happen, some more, some less to teams and players. But regardless, they're still going to be good. It's what I think. So they're going to be a really good five seed. Moving on to number six was last year's, I think, six seed, the Detroit Pistons. Just another year of the young team getting better, hopefully. I just think you put a little more trust in a team with Giannis. You put a little more trust in a team with Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Porzingis, and you put in a little more trust with Paulo Franz and Desmond Bane. Obviously, Cade Cunningham is starting to become that guy, and also Jaden Ivey. I mean, there's not much to expect from him. You're hoping a lot, but you don't really know because he missed a whole bunch of the season. And I get that they replaced Malik Beasley with Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert, but like, I mean, you just don't know how good those guys are going to be. You know, shooters sometimes flop, sometimes go crazy. You don't know, but I think regardless, they're still going to make by and not be a play-in team. Moving on to the play-in teams, I think the 7 seed will be the Celtics, the champs from 2 seasons ago now. Obviously, you know they're still going to be good. The guys want to compete. The Celtics are known for making the playoffs. Jaylen Brown could, like Giannis, have a prime or career year, and for good reason. He's like the clear number one option now. No Tatum, no Drew Holiday, no Porzingis. It's just him, Derek White, I guess maybe Peyton Pritchard, and who knows with Anthony Simons? Is he gonna start? Is he not? Will he be traded? You don't know. Something I'm realizing there's a lot of questions for these teams, which makes sense. You know, if you're good, you can't be perfect. No team is really perfect, but especially when you get down in this middle range, it's like, could you drop off? Could you skyrocket? You don't know. Just gotta wait and find out. And the 8 seed will be the defending Eastern champs last year, the Pacers. I debated moving the Pacers out of like the play-in completely. But it's just like with guys that are still on the team, like Siakam or TJ McConnell, I feel like those guys are just gonna make sure they don't make the play, don't miss the playoffs. Like they're gonna get in because of those guys. Especially you have Benedict Mathurin who could be really good. Andrew Nemhard, he has a lot more keys to the offense now. It's just you lost basically 2 starters from your team last year, your point guard and your center. So I mean, with them, you know, they're up here, but without them, I still think they're gonna get by. Okay, I'm gonna try to speed this up because we still have a whole nother conference to get to. But number 9 is going to be my team, the Toronto Raptors. I think they will be a playing team this year, which will overall be a success for the team. And if you look at the starting lineup, is pretty solid. Brandon Ingram in his preseason games has been good. He's been efficient and he's been scoring. Scotty Barnes the complete opposite, but it's preseason, so you're taking it with some grains of salt. It's still concerning though, but he's been a great defender regardless. And then like people obviously don't talk about the Raptors, but like this bench, Jamal Shed is great. You just have a bunch of young guys just loading up the bench. Colin Murray Boyles has been great in preseason. Obviously the hole is the backup center because Mobo is not great and he's also undersized. Mamu, he can shoot, but he's also undersized and like you don't want him closing out games. So really, if Pirtle is hurt and misses a lot of games, then it starts to be rough. Like maybe do you run Scotty Barnes as a 5? Who knows? But I still think they sneak in there as a 9 seed. My number 10 seed, who would be right behind the Raptors, is the one and only Miami Heat. Of course, they're still going to be trying to contend and make a playoff spot. I really do like their starting lineup. Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell, Wiggins, Nikola Jovic, and Bam. That's very, very, very solid. But like Jaime Jaquez, he had a down year last year. Khalil Ware has been really good last year. Maybe he can keep it up, and he probably will because he was killing it in preseason. So yeah, I think they'll be right behind the Raptors as, you know, they're always going to try to compete. Number 11 is the 76ers. You could really have them as a play-in team or down here like I do. I mean, they could be anywhere. Embiid, I don't think is ready still after all this time. Paul George is missing time. Jared McCain's missing time to start the year. So that's going to be a rough start for them. I do think Tyrese Maxey will have a big year this year because he is the lone healthy like star on the team. And we'll have to see how VJ Edgecombe does in his rookie year. For 12, I have the Bulls. And like there's just not a whole lot to be excited about. I guess you have Modest Buzelis, but like after that, the excitement, the hype train drop off is pretty big. They re-signed Josh Giddey. Kobe White is in like trade rumors, I think. So regardless, I don't know if they try to like make a big move or they just reset again. For my 13 seed, I have the Hornets. I don't think they're good enough to be a playing team right now. But they're not like terrible. Well, they can be terrible, but if they're healthy, especially the mellow ball, they're not terrible. The rookies will probably be really good this year and will contribute, but still, it's still another just rebuilding year as it's been for a long time for the Hornets. For 14, I have the Wizards. They're gonna be like, but I think they'll be a fun bad. They have a lot of young guys who I think maybe this year we'll start to see who maybe sticks and who maybe doesn't with them. And last but certainly least will be the Nets. I mean, I think they're just going out there just to play this year. They will be a bad. But now I'll just scroll here so you can see everything. Let's move on to my West predictions. And for the Western Conference now, my number one seed will be the reigning champs, the Thunder. What else can you really say about them? Their defense is going to stay the same, maybe even get better. You have a full year maybe, hopefully, of Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein being healthy, hopefully, because they both missed all those games last year and they still won 68 games. So I don't think they would go to no 74 and 8, but they could really win like 71 games because 68 is a crazy number amount of games to win. That means they only lost 14 games. A lot of teams go on 14 game losing streaks, and that's all they lost in the whole year. But yeah, they'll be back. My number two seed is the Denver Nuggets. It's kind of hard to make like a swing or like a big prediction here just because you know what these teams bring and you know that they're going to be dominating for majority of the season more times than not. And the Nuggets are one of those teams. They made a lot of good moves this year, a good projected bench. Bruce Brown is back. They have Valanciunas as a Jokic backup. No Westbrook though, but they do have Cam Johnson to slide in for the Michael Porter Jr. role. And yeah, I think they're very solid, better roster on paper than last year, so hopefully they can prove it. My three seed is going to be one of the LA teams, and it's the Clippers. Kawhi is healthy to start the year, which is not very common anymore. And just like the Nuggets, like they got better on paper, older but better. They really have like five or six guys who you're fine off the bench that you're fine with just playing every night. So that means if they get a little injured, like there's nothing to worry about. You just, of course, want to be healthy during playoff time so your older guys don't need to play 40 minutes a game. My number four seed is going to be the Houston Rockets. If I made this video before Van Vliet got hurt, Rockets are right here. I'm pretty confident in that. But with him missing the whole entire season, that's your starting point guard gone. And I understand they might make a move, they might not. They do want to test it out before making a move, which I think is smart. Still gonna have a great defense. Kevin Durant is gonna add a lot of offensive power to this team and their offense, but you also want to jump from Jabari Smith Jr. and you want a jump from Sengun, which he's very likely to do. I have a feeling he's getting a little overrated though, because yes, he's good, but the stuff he was doing in Eurobasket, people are like hyping it up. So crazy. If he does do that stuff in the NBA, great for the team. If not, hopefully he doesn't get a ton of backlash. But yeah, I have Rockets as a four seed. And my number five here is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. I feel like this is a big surprise having them ahead of the Timberwolves or the Lakers or the Warriors. I mean, they have a lot of guys off the bench, not like Clippers level bench, but if this is the actual starting lineup, you're talking Max Christie, Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Caleb Martin, maybe I think they're pretty high on Nemhard. That's a lot of guys who can come off the bench if, people are underperforming like a D'Angelo Russell or if Cooper Flag is having some rookie growing pains, which he will. But yeah, their team is big. Cooper Flag at the three, and then you have two 7 footers ish here with these as your backups. That's really solid. And I think they can surprise a lot of people this year, but that's a big if. With six, I have, where are they? The Minnesota Timberwolves. I want to put them higher because like they've shown us that they're here with making conference finals back to back years. So they have a lot of question marks on their team. Like, is Rob Dillingham ready? Is Terrence Shannon ready? If so, we're talking five, potentially four seed. But you know Anthony Edwards is getting better every year. You know he works on a skill to improve his game. They're still going to be here as contenders. They're just not going to have a high seed to show it. And with number seven, I have the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, but this is I had them at seven before the news about LeBron came out about him missing the first couple weeks of the season. So I do think that the additions they made are good. DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, like that's cool. And then Jared Vanderbilt, I think he's healthy, so he can play now. Is LeBron gonna be like as good of a second option, as he was last year? Who knows? Because he's in his 40s now. So I still think he's gonna be very solid, of course. All-star, obviously, but Luca can and might have to carry the weight um, that the rest of the team brings for him to do, which he can do. It's just, will it be enough to be better than a Timberwolves team? Here I have the Warriors. They didn't really do anything until a couple weeks ago, where they got Al Horford, signed Kuminga back, brought in a few extra guys off their bench. I think they have potential to be a pretty fun team. But they're old, just like the Clippers, but the Clippers, I trust Harden and Kawhi and Zubac more than like Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond. I trust the Clippers big three more than the Warriors. So yeah. Also, the Clippers have a much better bench. The Warriors, though, they'll still be doing their thing. With nine, almost finishing out the play-in is the Grizzlies. They're a big reason of this is because they're so injured already. I don't remember if John Morant. Yeah, I think John Morant will miss start of the year, and then Zach Edey's missing time, Jaren's missing time, Brandon Clark is missing time. So their bigs are gonna be like super thin. Who knows if Kentavious Caldwell-Pope will turn around his after last season? Who knows if like Vince Williams or Gigi Jackson will get better? And like show more promise. Who knows? So I think nine is a safe spot because they could be maybe seven or eight, but they could also be like 11. My 10th seed are the Spurs, and they also are dealing with some injuries, but I feel like a lot of the guys on that team, which makes sense because they're a young team, just haven't proven themselves. So if someone has them at like the sixth seed, sure, maybe that's your big prediction. Like, I don't think this is the year they make a crazy jump. Maybe they do, win these playing games and sneak in as a seven or eight seed. But I think on paper, when you look at 1 through 15, they'll be the 10 seed. Kind of flying through these last teams a little bit. Pelicans are my 11. Maybe I think this is the year Zion's healthy. I might take a chance on him in fantasy basketball. So. That's good. That means they won't be like the 14th seed. But they also have like Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, who are great, but get injured. DeJounte Murray's missing maybe the whole year with his injury. But I think 11, is decent for them. My 12 is the Trailblazers. A lot of people are pretty high on them to, maybe be a playing team. But so you look at their starting lineup and it's very good. Like this is very promising if this is their lineup. And then off the bench though, like Jeremy Grant, the rookie Young Hansen. I mean, what else? I think they're gonna have to rely on their starting lineup a lot, which is why I don't really have them as a 10 seed. With 13, I have the Kings. They're kind of like the Bulls. Like, what do you have to be excited about if you're a Kings fan? They have like solid guys, but no one to get them over the hump and like assert them as a play-in or a playoff team. At 14, I have the Phoenix Suns. This is kind of like this is gonna be a bad year for them just because you have a ton of new guys, a lot of, new opportunities on this roster, and it's like a gel year. So you build some chemistry. So they're not gonna be as bad as their record shows. And 15, no other than the Jazz. I mean, Is Larry Markkinen going to get traded? Who knows? Like they have guys who are good on the team, but they're just not good enough. But yeah, here's my Western predictions. So you can go back and check the East, maybe see what you would change if anything's a bit crazy, in a good or bad way. And yeah, those are my predictions. So we'll see how they are at the end of the year. I'm out. Peace.